The New Star Families Justice Center sponsored a workshop on domestic violence that focused on strangulation. Jennifer Murillo headed to the Hawthorne Memorial Center to bring us more.
Over 100 psychologists, law enforcement officers, medical providers, and many others attended the workshop to learn how to identify, investigate, and prosecute strangulation cases.
We want to have all the people involved in serving victims of domestic violence to know about it, so that when someone comes and says, oh, I was choked, that really means that someone strangled her, and actually she could have died even at that point.
Strangulation has been identified as one of the most lethal forms of domestic violence and sexual assault.
This is very lethal, very deadly. You can be strangled to the point of unconsciousness in a matter of seconds. You can die within 4 minutes or less. You can also have long-term consequences and have a stroke years later.
Even if you don't know at the time that you're being strangled that you have issues, that you could die within 48 hours if not attended properly.
Strangulation cases have often been hard to prove, as 50% of the time no visible marks are left.
All the injury is internal, and they can also suffer an anoxic brain injury. Essentially, they're having a brain injury each and every time they're being strangled, especially to the point of unconsciousness or when they urinate or defecate.
We need to learn how to identify it, how to look for the internal injuries, so that we can document it and later be able to prosecute it.
The workshop was given by Gail Strack, JD, who specializes in identification, investigation, and documentation of strangulation in intimate partner violence cases.
Well, we learned some of the ideas about what to look for with the evidence, looking at some of the changes in some of the prosecuting departments. Some require medical evidence, some don't. Some good ideas on getting, or we call it a RA unit, or a ambulance out to the victim, no matter what, when the person's information of strangulation, which allows us to get medical information up front.
Several attendees said this workshop should be attended by all who serve the people, in particular those who tend to emergencies, so they all can be more knowledgeable in this area.
Because we have taken our victims to the emergency rooms to get service, and the doctors refuse to do anything because they don't know the worst part about strangulation.
It helps in a lot of different ways. Number one, we can have more cases, identify more cases, prosecute more cases more effectively, gather better evidence and more evidence in places that we didn't see the evidence there.
Jurist Dr. Strack says you should look for help if you have been a victim of abuse. For HCTV, I'm Jennifer Murillo.
To get help for domestic abuse or find out about future events, visit www.nsfjc.org.